This book begins with a powerful story from ancient times. About 2,300 years ago, there lived a very rich merchant named Zeno. One day, he was traveling across the sea, and his ship carried all his valuable goods and money. But a terrible storm came, and his ship sank deep into the dark waters. Zeno lost his entire fortune in that single night. He was left with nothing, stranded and penniless in the great city of ancient Athens. This terrible accident, losing everything he had, was a turning point for Zeno's life. He did not let his suffering destroy him. Instead, he started to learn new things and found a different path. He began to teach his new ideas to people on a famous public place in Athens called the Painted Porch. From this simple beginning on the porch, a very important way of thinking was born. We call it Stoicism, and its origin is rooted in Zeno's severe disaster. This book will take you on a journey to understand this ancient philosophy. It will show how these ideas, which are over 2,300 years old, are still helping people today. In our modern world, we face many challenges. We have global sicknesses, known as pandemics, and lots of daily stress. Life can feel fast and full of chaos. Stoicism offers a strong mental toolkit to navigate these difficult times, helping people survive and thrive. We will explore how these timeless principles offer peace and clarity in an uncertain world. You might ask, how could a trader who lost all his money create such a powerful set of ideas? How did his ruined life lead to a philosophy that is now secretly used by some of the most successful people in the world? Think about leaders in technology from Silicon Valley, top professional athletes, and important world leaders. They all use Stoic wisdom as a personal guide. This book will explore this amazing journey, showing how Zeno's hard times created a mental toolkit that helps people live better lives today, even when facing great difficulties and confusion. 2. The rules of the mind. The world long ago, in ancient times, felt much like our world today. People faced big changes and often felt anxiety about the future. They searched for ways to live a good life. Many different schools of philosophy offered answers. Some people, called Epicureans, sought pleasure and peace, avoiding public life. Others, the Cynics, said only a good character mattered, rejecting money and comfort. Then there were the skeptics, who questioned if anyone could know anything for sure. They suggested that not making strong judgments would lead to peace. Into this time of great chaos, the Stoics offered their own path. They believed a good life needed three main parts: logic, physics, and ethics. Think of it like an egg. Logic is the shell. It helps you think clearly and avoid wrong ideas. Physics is the white. It helps you understand the world and your place in it. Ethics is the yolk, the most important part. Ethics teaches you how to live, act well, and cultivate a strong character. All three work together for a full philosophy. The Stoics had a special idea called preferred indifference. They said that things like good health, money, or good friends are nice, but they are indifferent to your true goodness. This means they do not make you a good or bad person. A rich person can be bad, and a poor person can be good. These things are indifferent to your virtue. However, some are naturally better to prefer, like health over sickness. The key is never to confuse these external things with what truly makes your life good. This was a powerful discovery. No matter what bad luck comes, It cannot steal your true happiness, because happiness comes from your inner character, not from outside things. This idea changed how people thought about control and happiness. But how did three very different men actually use these rules to survive dangerous times? Three great men of Rome. After learning about Stoicism's ideas, you might wonder how these rules helped real people. This chapter looks at three famous Roman Stoics. Their lives were very different, showing that Stoicism can help anyone, no matter their situation. First, there was Seneca. He was a billionaire writer and a Roman senator, living around the time of Jesus Christ. He worked for Emperor Nero, a very difficult and sometimes cruel ruler.
Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in the Roman Empire, but his life was full of danger and difficult choices. He faced political problems and was eventually forced to take his own life by Nero's order. Even with all his money and power, Seneca still struggled greatly. He wrote openly about his feelings, like grief and anger, and his challenges to live a good life. He showed that having many things does not make life easy or safe. Then there was Epictetus. His story is very different from Seneca's. Epictetus was born enslaved around 50 CE. His name even means acquired, showing his status. He suffered physical abuse from his master, which left him permanently lame with a broken leg. Despite this terrible start and constant physical pain, Epictetus became a great teacher and philosopher after he gained his freedom. He taught that people should focus only on what they can truly control. He said that our thoughts, desires, and actions are ours, but things like our bodies, possessions, or other people's actions are not within our power. This idea of focusing on our inner world was central to his teaching for finding peace. Finally, there was Marcus Aurelius. He was born in 121 CE and became the emperor of Rome from 161 CE. He was arguably the most powerful man in the world, ruling a vast empire during times of war and plague. Yet he kept a private diary, which we now know as meditations.
In this book, we see that even an emperor faced the same everyday fears and problems as anyone else. He worried about his duties, about being patient, about treating people fairly, and about his own mortality. His writings show his personal struggles with anger, frustration, and dark thoughts. He did not write for others to read, but as a way to guide himself through the immense adversity of ruling an empire and living a good life under constant pressure. These three men, from very different walks of life, all found strength and wisdom in Stoicism. A rich senator, an enslaved man who suffered greatly, and a powerful emperor all used the same practical ideas. Their stories prove that the philosophy works for anyone, anywhere, helping them find peace in a troubled world. They believed that true happiness and inner calm come from within, not from what happens to you or your outside conditions. What was the one golden rule all three of these men followed to stay sane and strong in a crazy and dangerous world? 4. What we can and cannot control. The most important idea in Stoicism is very clear. It teaches that our pain does not come from bad things happening to us, but from our own thoughts about these things. Imagine two people lose their jobs. One person feels completely sad and helpless. The other person sees it as a new chance. The event is the same, but their different thoughts create different feelings. This idea is a powerful way to change how we see the world.
A key part of Stoic teaching from a teacher named Epictetus is called the dichotomy of control. He explained that some things are within our power and some are not. What is truly in our power? Our own opinions, desires, aversions, and actions. What we choose to think and do. What is not in our power? Our body, our money, our reputation, what other people say or do, and most outcomes of events. For example, you can prepare well for a test, but you cannot control the exact questions or the teacher's mood. The way to find a peaceful mind is to focus all your energy on what you can control. This means accepting what is outside your control with a calm heart. It does not mean being lazy. Instead, it means putting your effort into your own thoughts and choices where your effort actually works. This redirection of focus is central to living well. To help master this important rule, Stoics taught 4 main virtues. First is wisdom, which means knowing what is truly good or bad for you. Second is courage, which helps you act correctly even when you are afraid or face trouble. Third is justice, meaning you treat all people fairly and work for the good of your community. Fourth is temperance, which is about self-control and not wanting too much of anything. These virtues give you a strong inner guide. This ancient wisdom is not just old ideas, it is the very foundation for modern therapies used today. Doctors like Aaron Beck, one of the founders of cognitive behavioral therapy, and Albert Ellis, who created rational emotive behavior therapy, openly said that Stoic ideas greatly influenced their work. These therapies help people change their unhelpful thoughts and beliefs to improve their mental well-being. This strong connection shows how powerful and lasting the Stoic message is. By understanding what you can and cannot control, you gain great power over your own mind. You learn to let go of unnecessary worries. You stop wasting energy on things that are not truly yours to change. Instead, you put your full attention into your inner world, your judgments, your choices, your character. This gives you ultimate freedom and helps you become mentally strong. But if we focus so much on controlling our minds, does that mean we must become cold robots without any feelings? 5. Good feelings and bad feelings. Many people think Stoics are cold, like robots, with no feelings. This is a common misconception. The truth is, ancient Stoics did not want to remove all emotions. Instead, they carefully studied feelings. They understood that some feelings, which they called passions, could be harmful. These passions were strong emotions like fear, anger, or extreme joy that came from wrong ideas about what is truly good or bad in the world. The Stoics made clear distinctions between these destructive passions and healthy feelings. They believed in good emotions. These were feelings like joy, a rational wish for good things, and caution against real dangers. The goal was not to become an unfeeling automaton, but to have a rich emotional life based on clear thinking. The Stoic idea of apatheia meant freedom from unhealthy, troubling emotions,
not freedom from all feelings. A wise Stoic could still feel love, gratitude, and a proper sadness. They simply avoided the emotional trouble that comes from confused ideas about life. To help with this, Stoics used practical mental exercises. One was called the view from above. Imagine looking down from very high up, like a bird in the sky. You see your daily worries become small. Your house, your town, your whole country look tiny. You see the vastness of the world and time. This exercise helps you see that many of your small problems are not so big in the grand scheme. It helps you focus on what is truly important in your character right now. Another powerful practice is negative contemplation. This might sound a little strange. It means imagining that you have lost the things you care about. Think about losing your job, your home, or even your loved ones. Seneca, a famous Stoic, suggested this. It's not about being sad or pessimistic. It's about preparing your mind for difficulties. More importantly, it helps you appreciate what you have right now. By imagining loss, you understand how precious your current life and belongings are.
It makes you grateful and helps you build strength for hard times. These personal mind tricks help us manage our inner world, but can they also change how we act towards others in our daily lives? 6. Living together in a big world. The Stoics, who we have learned about so far, were often seen as people focused only on their own minds. But this is not the full truth. They were, in fact, radical social thinkers. They believed in helping others and making the world better. This might surprise you. They were not lonely monks. They were active in their communities. They fought for fairness and what was right, showing a deep care for everyone. A key Stoic idea is cosmopolitanism. This word means that all humans are citizens of one big world. It was a very new idea at that time. People often felt loyal only to their city or group, but Stoics thought that all people share something important, the ability to think and reason. Because of this shared reason, they believed everyone belonged to one big family. This meant that men and women, rich and poor, free people and enslaved people, all had the same value. For example, Musonius Rufus, an important Stoic teacher, said that women could study philosophy and be virtuous just like men. This was a very unusual idea for the ancient world. To help understand how we should care for others, a Stoic named Hierocles used the idea of concentric circles. Imagine a small circle in the middle. That's you. Around it is your family, then your friends, then your local community, and then all of humanity in the biggest circle. Stoics taught us to slowly pull these outer circles closer to our inner circle. This means treating strangers and people far away with the same care and love we show our own family. It is about expanding our kindness to include everyone on earth. The Stoics also strongly believed in justice. This was one of their 4 main virtues. Justice meant not only being fair to individuals, but also working for the good of the whole community. Many Stoics were active in politics, even when it was dangerous. Cato the Younger, a famous Stoic, stood up against powerful leaders like Julius Caesar to protect the Roman Republic. Seneca, another Stoic, worked in the difficult court of Emperor Nero. Even Emperor Marcus Aurelius, whom we met earlier, spent much of his time defending the empire and working for its people. They showed that Stoicism meant taking action and trying to make society better,
not just thinking about yourself. Their focus was on the quality of their efforts and their intentions, rather than the outcome. This Stoic idea of social duty also gave rise to the concept of natural law. This means that there are good rules, based on reason, that apply to all people everywhere. These rules are true no matter what the laws of a particular country say.
This idea was very important later in history, influencing many great thinkers and even helping to shape modern ideas about human rights and equality. The Stoics really believed in living together in a big, fair world. But this beautiful and influential philosophy, with its ideas of universal care and justice, faced many challenges. Did it manage to survive the fall of mighty Rome, or did its light fade with the empire it helped to guide? 7. Stoicism in our time. Stoicism, an old way of thinking, is very popular now in the 21st century. It is having a renaissance, meaning it has become popular again. You can see its influence everywhere, on social media, in big tech companies, and in modern therapy rooms. Many books about Stoicism are bestsellers. Social media feeds are often saturated with wise words from ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius. Modern ways to help people with their minds, like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, credit old Stoic ideas. They say these ideas are foundational to their methods. People like company leaders, sports stars, military officers, and millions of others look to Stoicism. They want to find peace and inner stability in a world that feels fast and hard to manage. Writers like Ryan Holiday have made Stoicism easy to understand for many. His books have sold millions. Massimo Pigliucci, a philosophy professor, also helps people learn Stoicism deeply.
Groups like Modern Stoicism hold yearly conferences and Stoic Week events where people try to live by Stoic rules. Studies from these events often show that Stoic practices can make people happier and reduce bad feelings. Sales of Marcus Aurelius's book, Meditations, greatly increased during the COVID-19 pandemic as people looked for ways to cope with fear and uncertainty. But not everyone thinks modern Stoicism is always good. Some critics worry that online Stoicism can be used in a wrong way. They say it might become an excuse for people to hide their true feelings. Some critics argue it can encourage men to avoid showing vulnerability. This means they might not share honest feelings or ask for help. However, the real ancient Stoics wrote deeply about feelings, friendship, and community, not just being cold or quiet. With all this discussion, how do we use the true philosophy to find meaning in our lives today? Stoicism offers helpful tools and practices. It asks us to be honest about what we can control, like our thoughts and actions, and what we cannot, like outside events. It teaches us to look at our opinions about things, not just the things themselves. By focusing on our character and choosing to react with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, we can find peace and purpose. Stoicism provides a clear way to understand suffering, accept change, and face life's end with dignity, no matter what challenges come our way. 8. A better life today. This final chapter brings our 2,300-year journey to a hopeful close. Stoicism is a powerful tool. It helps us find peace and meaning in a scary, fast-moving world. This way of thinking is not just old ideas, it is a practical guide for today. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. If you want to start using Stoicism, there is a simple path. First, read The Enchiridion by Epictetus. It is a short book that you can read quickly, but its lessons will stay with you forever. Next, try Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. These letters are like talks with a wise friend, full of advice for daily problems. Finally, read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This book is his private diary, showing how an emperor tried to live a good life every day. Read it a little at a time, and you will see how he faced the same fears and frustrations we do. But simply reading is not enough. Stoicism needs to be practiced every day. Start tomorrow morning with tiny habits. When you feel sad or angry, try to notice your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this feeling about something I can change, or is it about my judgment of the situation? This simple question can give you more power over your mind. Also, try to think about what is within your control and what is not. Focus your energy only on what you can actually do. Choose to respond to problems with virtuous actions like kindness, fairness, or wisdom. Remember, life is short.
We must use our time well. Stoicism reminds us to live fully and with purpose. It helps us to be honest with ourselves and to improve who we are, little by little. This transformation takes time and discipline, but it leads to a much better life. Which Stoic idea from Zeno, Seneca, or Marcus Aurelius do you think would help you the most in your daily life? Leave a comment below and let us know.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world.